How we doing, everybody? Tim from Ski Rex Media doing another intro, the first intro in months. Yes, the long-awaited return from the summer hiatus of Ski Rex Media. Everybody who loves Ski Rex Media, I am back, and we ended the season with a panel discussion, and we're starting the season with a panel discussion, all with people who have been on the program before, and two Brians. That's pretty interesting. The first one, Brian from IG. How you doing, Brian?
Good. Yourself, Tim?
Oh, dandy like a lion, just loving this. Brian's in New England like I am, so we just had a beautiful day. In fact, we were just talking about it. Down there from the PA contingent, we have Scooter, who's been on the program and been on social media, from Ski Rex Media, all a bunch. How you doing, Scoot?
Good, man, good. Cool up there. It's really warm down here and humid.
You'll get it, though. It's coming. Winter is coming.
Man. And hear your guys' voices on the podcast here.
Oh, yeah. It's just like old times. It's almost like it's snowing already. And on the show again for his third, fourth, fifth, I don't know how many times Tech Rob has been on it, but he is a fan favorite. Tech Rob, how you doing?
What's going on, Tim? Just waiting for the cool weather to move in. I live right near school, so I'm over it.
Nice. Rob, you gonna be done with that renovation project in time to hit the mountain, are you, this winter?
Oh, you're damn right I am.
Well, that's very good. And that's what we're here to talk about, is what we're ready to do for this winter. Guys, I know you're ready. I know you're itching for it. I know none of us were able to get to big snow this year. That was kind of a bummer. What was it for you guys? Gas prices?
Maybe a combination of the gas and just other things already going on. And I sort of got a bike, so I've been kind of into that. Pedal bike, mountain bike. So
very good. Brian, you were starting?
Sorry.
Combination of fuel. The same hotel I got last year down there was like $150 more. And I was spending time in Groton, Long Point, Connecticut this year. So I was enjoying that.
I was enjoying that too. I lived in Groton when I was a little kid. My family did for the first 8 years of my life. So there you go.
No kidding.
Oh yeah, my father was in the Navy. He was stationed. He was on a submarine there. So that's where I was when I was the itty bitty teeny weeny child. Long before I ever put skis on. Long before we ever got to Vermont, actually. Yeah. So there's a good place to start. Actually, we're talking about we could always tie in some of Scooter's bike stories with some summertime shenanigans, but I think that's what they're talking about over there at the Out of Collective. Adam Jabber, Out of Bounds, Pursuit, all those guys, they love bikes over there. Good people, but I don't know much about biking anymore. I'm not good at it. I suck at it. I'm almost as bad at a bike as I am on skis. But, the economy really kicked the shit out of us, and it might kick the shit out of the season. And I don't know if we're scared of that, but what we're not scared of is Scooter's father, Kendall, has arrived. Kendall, how are you?
Doing great, you bunch of bums.
We're not all bums here. We're just talking about how we have no money because the economy is shot out. How is that going to affect your guys' ski seasons? The preseason, that's when we have to start thinking about this stuff. Whoever wants to go first.
I'm ready.
Are you going to be fighting the gas prices with that diesel truck you got, though?
No, I'm on the Scooter plan. I'm just going to use his car.
Yeah, I believe that. No, I mean, I don't know how it's going to affect our plans this winter. It seems like prices are coming down a little bit. So we'll see. Hopefully they keep coming down, get a little more favorable for us. But either way, I'm sure we'll take 2 or 3 trips north, and I'll be getting out just as much around here. So,
well, I'm lucky. I live close to 2 places, so.
I also do. I live right up the road from Whaleback. You guys know I spend a lot of time there. I plan on spending more time there. I hope when you all get up here, you can come spend some time here. Rob also enjoyed Whaleback. I would have loved to have John Hunt on the panel discussion tonight, but he's off grid for a little bit, doing his vacation thing, so good for him. Yes, we are recording this in August, even though it is going to be premiering in September. So happy September, everybody. That's why we're all still bitching about the heat. What do you got to say, Rob? I see your light popped up there.
Oh, yeah, I'm good. I was just chiming in. My basketball. Got my Indy Pass. Got my my Epic Pass, we'll probably at least take one trip up north, if not two. Uh, Definitely meet up. You know, you and John at Whaleback again. I really like Whaleback Mountain. I want to get there a little bit earlier this year rather than later like last year. When a lot of the trails were more open, but yeah, it was a good time.
It's a wicked good time, and I hope you guys get up there. Shoot, I hope I can get down there. I would really like to. Especially, what does Indy have a whole mountain that like I'd never even heard of down there? I forget what it is. I would like to come
There's
check it out.
Blue Knob's out here, and Shawnee and Montage are all in the Indy.
Wasn't there another one that was announced this past year? Doug Fish will be on the program later in the season to talk about this stuff.
Yeah. There's a place up the I forget the name of it, but yeah, it's kind of north central.
Okay.
I believe. Don't quote me on that.
I'd head out there. Brian, you gonna ride Indy this year or no?
No, I don't buy the Indy Pass. I own a Berkshire East Pass and I own an Epic Pass. I ski mostly Berkshire and Mount Snow, so I just couldn't justify it. And I got to buy two of everything, so it's gets expensive.
Two of everything. Is that you and the kid?
Yeah, yep, Brooke. Yep.
Yep, Brooke from Instagram, who has also been on the program. It's a family thing here at Ski Rex Media. We're all like family, in some cases very literally, with Brian and his daughter, who skis better than I do. So, but that's good. You see, people have asked me in the past, how do you make it not cost so much? And I'm like, simple, don't go far. For Brian, that's Mount Snow and Berkshire East. For me, that's Whaleback. For the PA guys, I don't know their area well enough, but they'll tell you the same thing. If you save gas, save money, poach your local hill. Hashtag uphill.
Well, I'll do my usual fall, November Killington trip, May Killington trip, at least one trip to MRG. That's a must, and at least one trip to Magic.
I'll get to Magic again. The day I went this past year was just an awful day. Awful. Like, we had just had rain for like a week straight. It was warm. It wasn't their fault. It's the weather. Like, I don't know. There was like 5 trails open the day I went, I think, and I skied them all.
They're upgrading snowmaking as we speak. That'll help their snow issues. I got lucky the day we all went. There was plenty of snow in the woods, so we got some of the tree skiing in there.
Yeah, I also think, if I remember correctly, you went after there was a storm. Like, it wasn't a big one, but it was enough to notice, and I think you went after that. I can't remember. I saw your pictures.
There's about 8 inches, like a couple days before my crew went, so it was enough to get into the trees.
It was a rough year. Like, it could have been worse. Like, I've seen worse past season, but I'll take what I can get. I'm fine with that. I'm not too proud to beg. I'm not hoity-toity. I don't need to go to Spain for 200 out of 160 days, whatever.
Pops and I got lucky. The day we had at Magic was really good. They had some trees open, able to get in there. It was good. We got really lucky. And what I've seen, they're putting a big addition on the snowmaking pond. So that's needed, because I think last year they had to stop making snow because they ran out of water a couple times.
Yeah, they're doing some good things with upgrades over there. Like, I hope they continue. I really do, because that's a nice little gem for those who don't want to go fight the Stratton crowds or even the Bromley crowds. Bromley was forever crowded last year. Every time I went past there, the place was jumping.
Love that place too. I wish that was on the Indy Pass. I keep hoping they're going to announce that one, but I think that's ship sailed probably.
Oh yeah. Last time, if I remember correctly, Doug Fish said he didn't really want to do too many more up here. But then he announced the Indeed Allied resorts, and they were all in New England at first. Whaleback and whatever else, Dartmouth Skiway. That place is cool if you haven't been there. Middlebury, Bosquet Mountain, which I've been to in the summer, but never in the winter. I didn't even think it was open for skiing in the winter. I have no idea. That's down in Brian's territory, out there in the Berkshires.
Bosquet, yeah. So my pass, Berkshire East helps manage Bosquet, so I can ski there on my Berkshire East pass.
Nice.
It's a little municipal mountain in Pittsfield.
Yeah.
Actually, their new lodge is beautiful. They just built a lodge last year.
Oh, did they?
Absolutely gorgeous. Really nice restaurant and bar. And then their triple chair brought down from the Hermitage Club. Actually, my company, our cranes put up a lot of that towers.
Brian, you said about having to buy tickets for two. It will get better because I remember those days too, but you will reap rewards from that because Scooter takes pretty good care of me now at my age. It's actually worked out pretty good. It all evens out in the end.
Oh, well, she's an only child, so she's going to have a room for me eventually, you know?
She had better.
Oh, easy there. Don't be putting any ideas in his head.
I don't know. Your dad seems kind of handy, Scoot. You might be nice to have him around.
No, it's he talks that, but you should see him get out of the car and run to the gas pump whenever we get to the gas pump. It's pretty funny to see who gets there first to slide the card. It's got to be it'd be pretty good fly on the wall situation to see us fighting over the bills and such.
Oh, that would be amazing. Be like a friggin' reality show. It'd be great.
And not fighting that you got to pay the bill, fighting that who's going to get there first to pay it.
Jump out while the car's rolling, man.
It's been
It's
done.
possible. There you go. See? Competition is
That's
competition.
when we stop at the rest area. And I'm like, let's go, get in the car.
Oh, yeah. You can't hang around. If you got to hit the bathroom, you do that and you go. I get it. I'm a driver. I understand. I would do the same thing. No worries on that, man.
That's the only cruelty I have to endure, though.
We've had some damn fun times.
Scooter's an animal with driving. And he met me at Killington on May 7th, drives from Pennsylvania, and we put down some bump runs and skied trees in May. That's wonderful. And then he drives back to Pennsylvania. I felt awful driving an hour and 40 minutes home.
Just drink some caffeine and off you go.
I might have been drinking something else.
No, I can't do that. I would have had to stop and definitely get a hotel or something.
You didn't have that many after he left, Brian. I think there was only like 2 that I remember.
I had some throughout the day, too.
Oh, that's true. Holy crap. You were drinking and skiing that thing during the day? I didn't know that. That's brutal, man.
Got to be loose in the bumps, kid.
I would have to be.
That was an insane day.
It was a good day of skiing.
It looked like a good day of skiing.
The atmosphere was just. I never skied that late in the season at Killington, and the atmosphere was just. It was pretty cool to be people there, and I'm absolutely doing it again next year. Like, yeah, gas prices, whatever. I'll be up there in May. And
we get to meet the Hammer. That was
cool.
Highlight of my day. The only bad part's the guy standing in the woods, and I had to bail there.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I had a front row seat for that.
And I asked him what he's doing. I dumped it in the bush.
He was just standing there over the hill, the little hill. He was just standing there in your blind spot.
Nice.
Yeah, can't win them all.
That's why I don't like going up there late season, man, because there's just other people who shouldn't be up there. And I don't think I'm one of them. Like, I know I do a lot of self-deprecating ski jokes. You can ask these guys. I'm actually okay. That kind of stuff, I don't know if I could do it anymore. I'd be that guy standing there talking about where the hell am I. Wouldn't be good.
Well, I guess you know your limits, and that's good.
Like, I'll do it in the morning. They're still growing that shit in May. I'll do it in the morning. Maybe 2 bump runs in the afternoon, and then tailgate for me.
See, there's plenty of people that I'm sure did that. It was really packed at the beginning of the day, and then it thinned out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was cold. It was below freezing at the beginning of the day. The snow was pretty hard.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I forgot.
Yeah, superstar, just like it is when it's the damn race course. Love it.
Yeah, I want to go up and try that next year. too, maybe 2 or 3 runs, and then I'll be the designated cook in the parking lot.
Yeah, I was trying to talk you into that this year, but I don't know. Maybe you had to work or something. But I got you. It sounds like I got you talked into it for next year.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
get there,
retirement life's tough when you got to work.
Friggin', I would totally do it. Even if I'm just hanging out again. Yeah, I don't live far. I mean, I just have to shoot over and be like, "What's up?" In fact, I found them coming off the hill. I was just driving up the hill, and there they were on the side of the road. It's beautiful. I wrote an article about that day when I was still writing, and it was funny as hell because I kind of titled it and started it off so people would think I was being a dick about it. And Alex, the business manager over at Whaleback, shout out to Alex. I saw him this summer, and he's like, dude, I was like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But then he's like, I read it, so I totally understand it. Because I was like, dude, the atmosphere, the surroundings, the people, just makes it a great time. Just, it's so awesome. It's such a social thing that time of year.
Yeah, I absolutely love it.
it's diehards.
It is. It's all diehards, and they're all there to be social. Like, well, they're there at the skiing part.
I wasn't the only guy from Pennsylvania there. I actually seen a guy. He's from DC. He skis at some of the local hills around here.
Nice.
And he's from DC, and I seen him up there, and I flagged him down on the hill, and we talked for a minute. I've seen a lot of Pennsylvania plates, so yeah, it's it feels like it's the only place open at that time of the year, and it just feels like a bunch of diehards come together from all over the East, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it almost turns into Mecca. Like that's where you go. You're once in a year at that time, even if you don't go the rest of the time.
If I lived close to there, I'd be up there every weekend at that time of year. When they shut down a weekend only, I'd be there.
Like I said, I think about it, but I don't know if I'm good enough anymore.
I went back 2 weeks later on the 21st of May. That it was really busy. It became a shit show.
Nah.
There was a ton of people because when Scooter and I were there, they had that other trail. I can't think of the name. There's 2 runs open, so people were spread out. On the 21st, there was much less snow than the 7th, and it got kooky.
I can imagine.
Kooky.
I can imagine, and the once you get everybody onto one trail, that's I don't know. Not to be a jerk, but I think that does kind of lessen the fun a little bit because now everybody's just trying to move. And, everybody was bitching this year, especially at properties from the company that shall remain nameless this season were being overrun. And again, at the end of the season, it's not their fault. There's only one run open, but that's kind of what it's like.
I've got nothing bad to say about Vail anymore.
I'm just not going to talk about it anymore.
And like the weekend thing and being busy, like it's always going to be busy on the weekend. And I really learned to I got to set my expectations when I'm driving to the hill. I'm like, okay, it's Saturday morning, the week after Christmas or New Year's, busy time. They're going to be busy. So let's just get in my mind now that they're going to be busy. I'm going to stand in some lift lines and just enjoy the time there with whomever you're with. And if you set your expectation, then you get there and it's not as busy, you're skiing on and off. It's like, yeah, win.
Yeah, exactly.
I've just kind of learned to accept it, especially here locally. And Scooter knows that. I'll go up and ski a couple hours, and when it starts getting crazy, I go home. And I'm fine with that.
Well, you got your weekdays open now, so you can go up anytime during the week and pick and choose.
Yeah, I started doing that some last year, and I actually had a good time doing that, actually.
Here's the thing, Tim. Saturdays at the busy places, let's say that Vail owns, Mount Snow, I have lots of experience there. You just need to know how to get around the mountain, use the singles line, and ski where they're not. The busy Epic Pass people, they're going to be on Long John. They're going to be on Deer Run. A lot of people over in Corinthia. I always just ski where they're not. And I don't ever have a problem. I don't wait in line because I use the singles line, even if I'm with a group of friends.
There you go.
So, and they brought back a lot of the fun activities come February when they finally got rid of the vaccine thing. And things started turning around.
And I don't know. I haven't been to Mount Snow myself since, God, I don't even know, pre-2010. I know that. But back when I went, it was the 90s. It was a different time, and I was skiing weekdays anyway at that point because even though I worked at the mountain, my shift at my last season didn't start until 2. So I had all day. I got close to 100 days that year, maybe even got 100. I don't know. I can't, people's we all said some awful things about it during the season. Now it's just like I can't fix it. I don't know what's actually going on because I'm not there, so I'm just not going to talk about it. I have a pass to a place that's right next door, so I have my Indy pass, so I also get 2 days right next door at the if you remember what Suicide Six's new name is, I forget offhand. I'll be there too, so I don't know. I'm gonna get down to Mount Snow this year, come hell or high water anyway, because I haven't been down there that long. I don't care who owns it.
Yeah, I mean, this season's going to be a little bit different for me. I guess not much in last season because I pretty much hung up around the mountains and the hills near Kendall and Scooter. But with me moving, it's different. I'm used to skiing the Pocono Mountains and my local mountains. So now I got 2 new ones. So a little bit different, just as busy. And like Brian said, I mean, a few of the mountains over in the Poconos are you know where to ski. You can get around everybody and get around everything. Usually East Mountain at Frost is pretty much empty even on a weekend. It's a lot too advanced for the rest of the crowd. So definitely agree with Brian on that one. You can get around if you know your way around the mountain. Around here, same thing. Maybe not the one local hill, but the other one. They have a front side and a back side, and I know you can get around that. I may wait in a little bit of a line on the back side, but teaching the kids this year to ski, I was a lot on the front side. A little bit frustrating, but I mean, not much you could do about that. But I'm looking forward to a better year this year. Sucks I wound up getting COVID on that Vermont trip last year with Scooter and Kendall, so that sucked. But I did get some skiing in later on that week at the local hill. So
Yeah, that was the January that COVID got Rob. It got me. I had just gotten over it in time to meet up with Scooter and Kendall down there at Pat's Peak. And that was the only day we got on that trip because we were all going to go to Berkshire East, but couldn't because of the weather.
Oh, you guys should have came that day because that storm stayed east. There was like 5 inches of fresh snow. It wasn't too bad. Nobody came to the mountain that day. I had a great day of skiing at Berkshire.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure we got home safe that day. I didn't know what was gonna happen. So we got a good weekend though. We went to Bolton and Okemo. We skied with the Tullys at Okemo that week. And Pat's Peak we skied with Tim. My brother came and met us as well. So we ended up having a good week. But yeah, hindsight's always 2020. I got home and I'm like looking at the weather. I'm like, man, we could have skied at Berkshire and got home totally safe, but whatever.
Hey, there's always next time.
Absolutely.
There is. And that's part of the fun is trying to second guess the weather. I don't know. I have a good time with it. Sometimes I blow it in the other way, head out like, nah, it'll be fine. And then end up stuck in the snow somewhere. Can't move.
Oh, Pops.
Part of the fun, in my opinion.
Pops and I.
Black Mountain.
Pops and I, we didn't get stuck in the snowstorm, but it's 8 hours up there for us to get the most places, and that's at speed. And we got stuck in the storm, and we ended up doing like 35 miles an hour for 7 hours. And we got to Brattleboro, Vermont. And I think we were headed up to like Mount Pillier or one of those towns farther north. And we just pulled in a hotel and got a hotel because we just had enough of it.
I get
Make
it.
an 8-hour drive, a 12-hour drive real quick.
It can. I did that shit in Pennsylvania once.
No fun.
It's not. I had to come back from Seven Springs back to New Jersey. Took us like 8 or 9 hours to do in the snow and the sleet. But the day before that, I beat the time. I made it in like 5 hours flat because it was a beautiful day. It's very strange.
yeah, driving home from New Hampshire this year, I hit that storm. All I kept telling myself was, all right, time to test out the Bronco. And the other thing I said to myself was, as long as I can get down southern Vermont, it looked like the storm was really heading east there for a while, but it still was a 12-hour drive home, and that was just absolutely brutal.
And it is brutal. It's horribly brutal. Although the day you all went back, I remember, if I remember correctly, you said we're going to go to Berkshire the day before we planned, and then the storm was coming. You all went back to Pennsylvania. I just went down to Berkshire. I was like, well, screw it. The second I see snow or whatever coming, I'll just bail because it's only an hour from me, hour and a half. And I was like, I'm gonna check this place out because I had never been there before, and I want to see what Brian's been hyping up all year.
I live 8 minutes away. It's by far the best skiing in Massachusetts, and it's steeper than everything in southern Vermont except for Magic. I think it's great. I mean, Ripcord is obviously steeper than stuff at Berkshire, but overall, it's steeper than Mount Snow and Stratton.
Ripcord, the only trail at Mount Snow that I have never skied on. I've skied every single other trail at that mountain, but I'm too much of a chicken to take that on. And what do you think about that? Brian number 2, Brian from High Falutin Ski Bum Podcast is now here as well. Brian, what do you think about me being a wimp?
Yeah, sorry I was a little bit late. You know, sometimes you just gotta know your limits.
I know my limits.
You know, or you know what you do? You take a couple fireballs and you say, "Fuck this! Who knows? Putin could nuke us tomorrow. Let's do Ripcord."
Loose is good. That's what we talked about earlier.
Here we go.
Here it is. Brian shows up and the whole thing goes up the room.
We can make this happen.
I will never drink Fireball. I will never drink it while I'm skiing.
Then get an injection.
Get an injection.
IV.
Very nice.
IV, baby.
What are the kids? Are the kids still putting into tampons in their ass dipped in the alcohol?
Last time I checked, last time I went to a sorority mixer, they sure were.
Good boy. Good boy. What'd your wife think about that?
That's classified.
Good man.
I was going to the, quote, grocery store. I thought Costco closed at 8. Nah, not ours. It's got special hours.
It's North Jersey. Everything's open 24 hours.
We're executive members. There's different rules for us.
Ugh, no way. I will ski it. You know what? I would do Ripcord early season. I'm not doing it near the end. That's, again, like going to Killington in June where it's all just bumps and shit and people who shouldn't be up there.
I probably skied Mount Snow 25 plus times this year. It wasn't open any day I was there.
Oh, bogus.
You gotta have quite a bit of snow on that run. There was some blue glacier ice quite a bit.
Oh, I can imagine.
Up at it.
Oh, I can imagine. I've looked up it a few times. It comes out right on River Run there, if it's still called River Run. I don't even know.
Yeah, that's correct. It does.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you ever skied North Face in the 90s and went to the barbecues that were going down there sometimes, I was probably one of the ones there. Just so you know, we may have met sometime in the past. You never know.
I don't know. I'm a big bull wheel guy. Got a 10 o'clock meeting Saturdays. I'm in the bull wheel for a Bloody Mary.
Breakfast, huh?
Yes.
Hey, you know, those fireballs aren't that bad. You did make me do one at Killington. And
I did.
It was pretty tasty. Like I'm not a big guy on hard liquor. I'm not a big drinker, period, but that was pretty good. I might have to stick one of those in my pocket for like a really cold day. Warm me up.
It serves a purpose.
Yeah.
I don't like that purpose. Shout out and rest in peace to our homie Alyssa, who drank so many goddamn fireballs and kept skiing that day. I almost threw up from watching her do it.
That was a wild day.
Oh, that was an incredible day.
22 shots of Fireball. That's what it was.
22.
How many?
22. 97 pounds.
Wow.
She was an animal.
How many pounds was she? 97 pounds. So let's do the math. If you're 200 pounds, that's like 45 shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, considering I think one of the last days of her in New Hampshire, considering she was almost passed out underneath the lift and I had to carry her back to the room. That was that was another good Fireball day. But I don't know. Someone robbed my backpack and scouted me out. Everybody knows me, and I carry it in the backpack. So
You get like a camelback with the bladder, camel bladder,
Camel bladder. Ugh.
fire bladder.
There you go.
I'm sure the Fireball will like clean the thing out.
Well, it'll probably eat it away. We probably just eat it away to nothing.
Just nuts it.
I'll let you know how it goes later in the season because that's a great idea.
Don't do the fire back.
Every time you put water in it, you get a alcohol buzz.
That's not a bad idea. It's like microdosing. You're like microdosing the Fireball.
I'll leave that to you guys. I drink water. Clean living. Clean living.
Look at that. See? Clean living. Someone's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to keep an eye on the rest of yous.
So Tim, how have things been looking this summer up in Vermont in terms of just COVID restrictions, people trying to return to normal? Because I follow Vermont Digger on Twitter,
Sure.
and there still seems to be a decent amount of lunacy in Vermont. I mean, there always is. Like, Vermont's just one of those places. But how have things been looking?
You know, it's interesting. For every person that is still keeping up with it, who's still wearing masks, who's still saying, please don't come in our business without masks, all this, there's 100 or more people who are just like, wait, that happened? It's like it never happened here. Like, you still hear it on the news, like, you know, the infections are going up, you know, people are getting their whatever they're using to treat it now, but like, you don't even hear the word vaccine anymore. Like, we're just out and about. No, again, it's like it never happened. Like, it never happened.
Isn't that so bizarre? Like, I same thing I'm seeing here too. And I've been having a commute back to, I work in Jersey City, which is right across the water from New York City, and I take the ferry that actually goes to New York City first. And it's amazing how few people wear a mask. People who do are the ones who look like they're about to die anyway, so maybe they should have the masks on, which is great. Hey, for you, God bless you. Keep on keeping on. But yeah, for the most part too, you just see so much less of it. But there's just the people who do want to hang on to that. They're almost like lunacy about it. Like, they're just so, why are you doing this? You're gonna kill me. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, maybe you're not supposed to be around here anyway. Like, I'm just so sick of everyone's excuse for why we got to just like stop living our lives the way we're supposed to.
I agree. Like, it came, it went. I think the only people who really want it to keep going, and again, I'm 100% willing to admit when I'm wrong, and I could be. Because who the fuck knows? Monkeypox could be a thing too. Who knows? But
For me,
if you're partaking in certain activities,
it's not
coming
for
your way.
me. There's no way I can get monkeypox. Not even
hashtag
possible.
hashtag butt
Not
stuff.
happening for this guy. I don't know what you guys are into, but I'm not doing that.
Hashtag not my problem.
Hashtag
Yeah.
hashtag monkeypox.
I'm not up to date on monkeypox, but from what Brian's saying, I think I'm good.
Listen, if you rolled in certain circles, you would know about it.
You might have it. You
I
never
don't
know.
think you roll
Yep.
in those specific circles, so I think you're good.
I think I'm good.
I don't have the flag out front either.
Which one? I mean, the
There's
flag
so
keeps
many.
morphing and evolving too.
Oh, it
True.
certainly does.
Which edition do you have?
See, that's why I don't play those games, man. I'm just like, you know what? You all live your life. I'll be at the mountain. Like, that's where I'll be. And I think the only people who are really continuing it on are the ones who went hard, doubled down. And again, I'm not going to say I know what happened. I don't know who was right, who was wrong. I don't know what was real and what isn't. But there's people who are now, they can't take the risk that they were wrong. They're just like, I doubled down, so I have to keep her going. I have to get my 4th injection or 5th or whatever we're up to. I don't know. Again, you don't hear the word up here. Like, I don't
Yeah, no,
see.
it's people have like tied it to their identity. Like, they put in their profile like the number of shots they had, the little syringe emoji in there. It's like, is this like, who are you trying to get like social points from, or brownie points, or credit? Like, I don't even get who you're trying to appease anymore. Is there some sort of god of viruses you're trying to like make a sacrifice to? Like, people's thinking is just, I don't understand it anymore. I feel like I'm living in an alternate universe.
The vaccine is a type of virtue signaling now. It's a version of it. Hey, look at me! I've got 12
Absolutely
vaccines.
correct.
Yeah, it's like, but that's when you look at the history of communism in countries, that's pretty much how it starts. It's like, hey, don't go with your family, don't go with the people who are making sense. Join us, be one of us. We're the greater good. We're the ones who are gonna take you to the promised land, to the next place. This is how it's happened dozens, hundreds of times throughout history. And that's what's kind of freaking me out a little bit.
I make 2 or 3 trips almost every week to DC. And this week will be 4 trips. But I'm starting to see.
Are you bringing some of those illegals?
No. I'm
Are you going to
starting
Texas and bringing some up?
I'm starting to see a resurgence here in the last 3 to 4 weeks of the whole mask thing coming back. They climb in my van, and I've had a couple ask me if I would wear a mask, and my answer is no. And
It depends.
you do
Will you
you,
perform
I'll do
fellatio
me.
to completion?
What's that?
Will you perform fellatio to completion first?
Shit.
Like, it's just people are just like, it's like fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To completion.
Everybody, these like people who are unhealthy and paranoid and psychotic and have mental illness. It's like they want the world to bend to them. It's like, no, just no. And in our society, we've been trained to be so nice to people, and that's great. Like, that makes for a wonderful community and environment. But when you start bending to insane people, this whole movement, like the tolerance thing, it's like there's no end. There's no like, okay, once we get to this point, everything's cool, because that goalpost keeps shifting and shifting and shifting until you're like, wait a minute, I don't even remember like what normal was. I don't remember what, like, you watch movies like 20 years ago. Like, I was listening to Joe Rogan, he was talking about comedy. Like, when's the last good new comedy movie that came out? Was it like The Hangover? Because you can't even be funny anymore. You can't make jokes because everyone's offended, and we're not gonna get sponsorships, and we won't make X amount in the theater on opening weekend. It's like, it destroys culture. It destroys like what makes, comedy, what makes America, what makes fun. Everyone's just afraid to have a good time anymore. Everyone's just on like pins and needles.
Ask Dave Chappelle.
Dude, that was, again, more lunacy.
But
That
he came
one was
back,
great.
and I was glad to see him come back. I watched that comedy routine he did after that, and he stuck it to him. He stuck it to him good.
Did you see what just happened to him in Minnesota, though?
No.
He was performing at, I think it was First in Main, which is like one of the famous clubs in Minneapolis. It's where Purple Rain, like, that was the club that, Prince, the kid, was playing at in that movie. And he was going to do a show there. And a bunch of people protested and were like, oh, he's transphobic. They had to move the location of his performance because of the protesters.
Yep.
Crazy.
This is like last month.
Yeah, it wasn't
I didn't
long
hear
ago.
about that.
He still performed, though.
He did. He was able to get out. And the thing about him that was just, I thought was amazing about the whole thing is everybody called him transphobic for that one special. I was like, dude, I watched it. If you think that was transphobic, you didn't watch it.
Well, that's the problem, too, is people glob onto a headline. They see the Atlantic or the New York Times post something, and they just take it and run with it. And they don't actually review and look at anything. That, like, they don't actually watch it, like you said. I mean, I watched it, too. I thought it was hilarious. And it was basically his friend who was trans, a sad story about how they committed suicide. Spoiler alert. But there was nothing phobic about it.
No, there really wasn't. And it's becoming a bigger problem. Like, I'm all for, not being a douchebag. I try very hard in my life not to be a douchebag these days. I really do. But there's some things, like Brian said, I just don't get it. And this stuff, to bring it back into the ski industry, we see it. Even here in Vermont, I brought up Suicide 6, which this year changed its name to Saskadina 6. I finally remembered what it was. But
they finally announced it? What is it? Saskadina?
Yeah, it's an Indian word or a Native American word. Excuse me.
Oh, boy.
Well, see, that's the thing.
I do
Looking
believe.
at you, Squaw Valley.
Yeah, and here's the son of a bitch about it. So they changed it. This is why I don't understand it. Where are the lines drawn, and why are we going so hard on this stuff? Because Suicide 6, it's offensive, basically, or upsets people who have attempted or know people who have succeeded in suicide, mental illness. All right, fine. So you use a local
Did the mountain
native
cause it? Did they go and look at I'm going to go on a ski trip this winter. And they looked at the names of all the mountains, and they go, oh my God, Suicide 6, rope, chair, dead.
Exactly.
Like, did the mountain do it?
But again, and they said, people had spoken about this, and I don't know who and where they would know because I've never heard that. I've never heard that at all. And then, so they pick a native name. Millennials, just millennials. But
the problem is that the generation below mine is where they start getting a damn trophy for everything, and nobody's feelings can get hurt anymore. So everything's offensive.
And no shaming.
Everyone's special.
I'm not special.
Tim,
Well,
you
I've
are
actually-
very special.
I've actually said it for years. I was like, I tell like some of my friends' kids who are mostly teenagers now, I tell them, guys, don't worry about being popular. Don't worry about being special. Don't worry about being anything but you. Like, don't worry about it. Like, you got 4 or 5 good friends. That's all you need. Screw the world. Get off TikTok and have a nice life.
Well,
Like,
Do they listen?
some of them do, yeah.
Good.
I'm special. I'm the world's greatest average skier.
The world's
go.
greatest average skier.
He's something, all right.
the-
He's something.
The only reason why I got the vaccine is because Vail announced I can't go in the damn lodge if you're not vaccinated. Then it turns out that the first time I show the card, the person looking at it, they don't even know what the hell they're looking at. I could have made up my own and not even had to gotten the damn thing.
Just get a
then
crayon.
you don't- and then they give you a-
vaccination. Smiley
Then
face.
they
Then
give
they
you a
started just
sticker.
asking for your name and phone number, didn't they?
Oh, they gave me a sticker. And did you guys get the sticker for your pass? It says vaccinated. All you had to have is that little sticker. I totally regretted it. And then out of the blue, the second week of February, the guy checking your vaccination passport or your sticker disappeared. I think they had enough of it, and they
I think
finally
he died
announced
of
that they were.
COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got. That's what happened to him. Poor son of a
I
bitch.
got ripped off. I ordered my vaccine card off of eBay and it never came.
Sons of bitches.
There was a big business
Yeah.
of bootleg vaccine cards. I'm kind of wishing I'd have gotten into it. I started learning a
They're
little bit
wicked.
about that graphic design, man.
Well, it's really easy to do. Really easy to do. You don't. All you need is a Dropbox scanning app, and then and you can make up the damn card right on your phone. I've already done it.
Yeah, you just need some of that thicker card stuff.
Maybe I'll stop talking.
Allegedly.
I think the statute of limitations are over on it. Like, I don't even think people care.
Yeah, I guess well,
Printed-
didn't Vail announce too? I think we talked about it in the chat that they're removing the requirement for employees, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think
Yep.
so. Yeah, it's done. Like I said, up here, it's like it never happened. You all are welcome to come skiing this winter, no questions asked. And I hope
I was
you
in the
do.
Bull Wheel a couple weeks ago. I was in the Bull Wheel, and place was packed. People eating dinner, drinking. It was a blast up there. I hiked Mount Snow and had a drink and a snack with my buddy.
Nice.
What's it like in Massachusetts, Brian?
Well, I'm in the western part of state, so we're much different than the eastern part of state.
No.
However,
I'm gonna be there in 3 days.
Yeah.
Eastern Mass, that's a complete dumpster fire out there.
Oh, they're gonna love me. They're just gonna love me.
Western Mass and Boston. That's what it is.
And with that mention of Boston, it's a good time to call the episode for the week. That's right, the season premiere is a 2-parter. The episode is not over, and you have to tune in next week for the debut of part 2. The Boston mention here is just a segue into what we start talking about, which is a lot less COVID and a lot more Boston, Snowbound Fest, skiing, the later in the year, all kinds of stuff. We talk about all kinds of stuff here on Ski Racks Media, and we will continue to do so next week. Thank you for listening to part 1. And now that you have, if you want to listen to the rest right now, I almost said watch the rest. If you want to listen to the rest right now, you can go become a Patreon subscriber. That's right. If you go to patreon.com/skirexmedia, you can join any one of the tiers. And there I have the season premiere in almost 2 hours long in its entirety. So if you're ready to get that right now, go ahead over there and you can listen to the whole thing, including the part you just listened to. And then you can listen to the part you didn't listen to. All is one file, all is one episode, all in its entirety. I'm so excited I can't even speak it. Go ahead and check that out if you're interested. Also, all episodes Though they do come out on Wednesday, Patreon subscribers hear them on the Sunday before. That's right, you get it 4 days ahead of time, or 3 days ahead of time, 4 days ahead of time, whatever it is. But thank you for joining here. Double thank you if you go ahead and join on Patreon as a paid subscriber. Tune in next week for the rest of this episode. And then, like I said, the following week, Jacob Perkins, the following week, Wendy Clinch, the following week, Doug Fish from the Indie Path, and then a whole slew of other people. Thank you again, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the rest of episode 1 next week, and I will see you out there later.